I'm Gene Wang. Welcome to The Wrap. Joining me today to discuss the Washington Redskins' 30-20 loss to the Arizona Cardinals is Dan Steinberg. And Dan, there's not much to say in this one. I mean, the Redskins just are not a good team. That's kind of what my takeaway is as we move into that part of the program. I mean, their secondary is a complete mess. We saw what happened. They were picking on Brashad Breeland. Obviously, Larry Fitzgerald is a borderline Hall of Fame receiver, but that was a great matchup. They were picking on him all day. Michael Floyd had a catch in front of him as well. They're picking on Biggers. Emerson was already out of the game. I mean, that secondary is a complete mess, and teams are just going to go after him, and they should. And they don't put pressure on the quarterback on top of that, and that's a recipe for disaster. What did you see out of this game?
I mean, it's been, I think that people had some low expectations a little bit for Jay Gruden entering his season, but his first season, but this year has so far gone underneath those low expectations. I think this is his fourth loss by double digits so far. He hasn't done anything in particular that gives you confidence that this is going to get better anytime soon. I think you talk about putting pressure on the quarterback. Brian Arakpo, this guy who said he has nothing left to prove, who was insulted by how the Redskins dealt with him in the offseason.
Right.
Can't get pressure on the quarterback, can't catch the ball when it's thrown to him, can't bring down the quarterback when he does get his arms on him. All around, there's not a whole lot of bright spots right now.
And let's just add to that, Dan. What are the Redskins left to play for now? Because they're 1-5. Okay, they've lost 9 straight on the road. They've lost 4 in a row overall. Dallas won today, huge win in Seattle. They're 5-1. They're 4 games behind in the division. So what's left for them to do?
I mean, I think it comes down to this point. There's going to be 5, 6, 7, something like that games for Robert Griffin III to get out on the field and to actually try to show Jay Gruden and show his teammates what he can do in this offense. I think a couple weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, we were saying, hey, is this even his job when he comes back? Now, after the way Kirk Cousins played, I don't think there's any question. This is RG3's job. He is the future quarterback here if he can make it work, and he's going to get some chances to show that.
Well, Dan, you just set me up perfectly for the start of the Studs and Duds segment. And, I'm going to do the dud. Obviously, it's Kirk Cousins, and I can't believe there was a time during when RG3 and Cousins were together, both playing, that we thought that Cousins was going to be or someone thought that Cousins should be the starting quarterback. This guy was drafted to be a backup. I know in Washington it's great, everyone loves the backup guy, but I don't understand why there's this mentality in the city sometimes where the backup has to be the starter. You're never satisfied with what you have in front. I think these last couple of games this season and parts of the last season too have shown that Kirk Cousins is not the guy, and RG3 should be the starter going forward.
Cousins now, I think, 18 touchdowns and 18 interceptions in his career. That's just not a ratio that works in this league. So I totally agree with you on the dud. The stud, I'm going to actually pick out a guy on the offensive side if I could.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Deshaun Jackson the stud award. He did exactly what they paid him to do. He's not great at blocking. He's not going to get a ton of catches, but when he gets the ball, he can fly. On that one, I think it was 64 yards
right.
early in the game, just doing it all by himself, basically. And really, he should have had a second touchdown on a 40-some yarder where Chris Chester and him got tangled up. And so we wound up with 3 catches, 115 yards. It was basically him against the Cardinals for large stretches of that game, and he kept the Redskins in it, but just not enough.
And we can also point to maybe one more positive note. Jordan Reed's return for the first time since week 1. He had a 17-yard catch and a 20-yard catch on that last drive there that they scored on. So maybe the passing game can get a little better. But
and we can't say for the defense, they did keep him out of the end zone.
They did
keep him out of the end zone. The last touchdown kind of made the score a little bit higher than it should have been. But overall, neither side of the ball played well enough to win.
Right. Dan, thanks for joining me. I'm Gene Wang. We'll see you next time on The Wrap after Week 7 when the Redskins play the Tennessee Titans.